Hey, welcome back to Say It Real, the podcast where real conversations help you build real fluency. So happy you're here with us today.
And today we are doing something that I really loved. We are taking two small, simple, everyday words and showing you exactly why they matter more than most people think.
Two small words. Which ones?
By and with. B-Y and W-I-T-H. By and with.
Oh, those two. I have to be honest, I use both of them all the time, and I'm not always sure I'm using them correctly.
And that is exactly the feeling most English learners have because these two words are everywhere, in almost every sentence that explains how something happened, and yet nobody really stops to explain them properly.
So today we're going to fix that. By the end of this episode, you will feel the difference between by and with in a way that is completely natural, not a grammar rule you memorize, a feeling you carry.
I love that. A feeling, not a rule.
And before we dive in, if you enjoy learning English through real conversations like this, please subscribe to Say It Real. Give us a like and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode. It genuinely helps us reach more learners. Okay, let's go.
So let's start with the simplest possible question. Imagine someone asks you, "How did you write that note?" And you answer, "I wrote it with a pen."
I wrote it with a pen. Yes, that feels completely natural.
Now imagine someone asks, "How did you get to work today?" And you answer, "I went by bus."
I went by bus. Also completely natural. But those two words, with and by, are doing very different jobs.
What jobs exactly?
With introduces the tool, the physical thing you held in your hand, used, operated. The pen is the instrument. You picked it up, you held it, you moved it across the paper. With tells us what object was used to perform the action.
And by.
By introduces the method, the process, the how. The bus isn't something you held in your hand. The bus is the system, the route, the way you traveled. By tells us how the action happened, what process was used.
Oh, so with is about the object and by is about the process.
Exactly. And once you feel that difference, you'll start hearing it everywhere. Let's try a few more together so it really settles in.
How did you cut the vegetables? I cut them with a sharp knife. The knife is the tool, physical object in your hand, with.
How did you learn English? I learned by listening to podcasts every day. Listening is the method, the process. By.
How did you open the door? I opened it with my key. The key is the instrument, with.
How did you improve your writing? I improved by practicing every evening. Practicing is the method. By.
I'm already feeling the pattern. With is something I can touch. By is something I do, a process, a method, an activity.
That is such a clean way to think about it. With something you can touch or hold, by something you do or a system you use. Keep that in your mind for the whole episode.
Let's talk about transportation because by comes up constantly there.
Yes, by is the word for almost all methods of transportation. I traveled by train. She came by car. He went by bus. They flew by plane, or we often just say they flew, but by plane works perfectly. I walk to work, but on days when it rains, I go by taxi.
And what about on foot? Is that by foot?
Great question. We actually say on foot, not by foot. I walked there on foot. It's one of those small exceptions worth knowing. But for vehicles and transport systems, bus, train, car, plane, boat, bicycle, by is almost always the right word.
So by bus, by train, by car, by plane, by bicycle, but on foot. Got it.
And notice how natural these sound. They're short, clean, and they feel completely right. That's because by is doing its job, describing the method of getting somewhere.
Now, let's go deeper with, because I feel like with has more variety.
It really does. With introduces any physical instrument or tool, but the tools can be very different things. A pen, a spoon, a key, a camera, a phone, a hammer, your hands, your fingers, even your voice. I sang with my whole heart.
Oh, you can use with for non physical things too?
Yes, with can introduce things that are more abstract when they describe how you approached something. I spoke with confidence. I listened with full attention. She smiled with genuine warmth. In these sentences, confidence, attention, and warmth are the instruments of the action, in a more poetic sense. The word with still connects the action to the thing that shaped it.
That's beautiful, actually. With isn't just for spoons and pens, it's for the qualities and feelings you bring to something, too.
Exactly. And that's what makes with such a rich word. It can be as concrete as a screwdriver or as beautiful as a kind heart.
I wrote the letter with a kind heart sounds much better than I wrote the letter with a blue pen.
Both are correct. One is just more poetic. Now let's look at by for methods of learning because this is where I think our listeners will really connect with it.
Say more about that.
So, when we talk about how we learned something, how we developed a skill, how we improved, how we grew, by is the word that introduces that method. I learned to cook by watching my grandmother. I improved my pronunciation by shadowing native speakers. I got better at writing by practicing a little every day. I learned the song by listening to it 30 times.
All of those are so natural, and they all describe a process, an ongoing activity that produced a result.
Right! By is about the path. How did you get from not knowing to knowing? What was the journey, the method? By introduces that answer. And in English learning specifically, by is incredibly useful because there are so many different methods. By listening, by reading, by speaking out loud, by recording yourself, by watching films, by repeating sentences. All of these are introduced with by.
This is making me want to describe my own English journey using by.
Try it.
I improved my English by listening to this podcast every morning. I learned new vocabulary by reading books I actually enjoyed. I got more confident by speaking even when I made mistakes.
Every single one of those is perfect. Natural, clear, and beautifully honest.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about passive sentences, because by has another very important job that we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh, what job?
In passive sentences, by introduces the person who performed the action. This report was written by the manager. The song was composed by a young musician. The painting was created by an artist no one had heard of at the time. In all of these sentences, the focus is on what was done, and by tells us who did it.
So, by isn't just for methods in transportation, it's also for identifying the person behind an action.
Exactly. And passive sentences with by are very common in professional and formal English. The decision was made by the committee. The email was sent by the wrong person. The project was completed by the entire team. You'll hear this structure constantly in news, business, and academic English.
And this is a completely different job from the method by. They just use the same word.
Same word, two different jobs. And once you know both jobs, by for method and by for the person in passive sentences, you'll understand so much more of the English you hear and read every day.
Let's do some real life scenes. I love when we do this.
Let's go. Scene 1, The Office.
Two colleagues are talking about a document on the screen. One colleague says, "How did you format this so quickly?" The other replies, "I did it with a template I saved last month." The template is the tool. With.
Then the first colleague asks, "How did you learn to format documents like that?" The reply, "I learned by watching a quick tutorial online." Watching the tutorial is the method. By.
Same conversation, same topic, two different words for two different things. Clean and natural.
Scene 2, The Kitchen.
A friend is watching you cook. They ask, "How did you mix that sauce so smoothly?" You say, "I mixed it with a wooden spoon." The spoon is the instrument. With. They ask, "How did you learn to make this dish?" You say, "I learned by watching cooking videos and trying it myself." The process is the method. By.
Scene 3, The Music Room.
A student is playing guitar. Someone asks, "How did you play that?" The student says, "I played it with my fingertips." The fingertips are the instrument. With. The person asks, "How did you learn that song?" The student replies, "I learned it by listening to it over and over until I knew every note." Listening repeatedly is the method. By.
These scenes all feel so real and
Then every one, the pattern is
the same.
The pattern is always there. With, tool, instrument, physical object or quality you brought to the action. By, method, process, system, or the person behind a passive action.
Let's do a quick practice. You give me a situation and I'll choose the right word.
Ready? How did you send the invitation?
I sent it by email. By. Email is the method of sending.
Perfect. How did you write the address on the envelope?
I wrote it with a black marker. With. The marker is the tool.
Excellent. How did you travel to the conference?
I traveled by train. By. The train is the method of transport.
Beautiful. How did you open the bottle?
I opened it with a bottle opener. With. The opener is the physical instrument.
Now, how did you improve your fitness?
I improved by exercising every morning. By. Exercising is the method of improvement.
Every single one correct. And I want you to notice something. You didn't stop to think about rules. You felt which word was right. That's the goal.
You're right. I felt it. I didn't calculate it.
That's what real fluency feels like. Not rules, feeling.
Let's do the word tour. Key phrases from today, slowly and clearly.
With a pen, with a knife, with a spoon. These all describe physical tools used to perform an action. I cut the paper with scissors. She stirred the coffee with a small spoon. He fixed the shelf with a drill.
By bus, by train, by car, by bicycle, by plane. These all describe methods of transportation. She travels to work by train every day. They flew to the conference by plane. I prefer to get around by bicycle when the weather is good.
By listening, by practicing, by watching, by reviewing, by repeating. These describe methods of learning and improving. I improved my English by listening to real conversations. She learned the recipe by watching her mother cook. He got better at chess by playing every single evening.
Was written by, was made by, was created by, was sent by. These are passive structures where by introduces the person who performed the action. This book was written by one of the most celebrated authors of the century. The email was sent by the wrong person. Complete accident. The decision was made by the whole team together.
With confidence, with attention, with care, with patience, with full focus. These use with to describe a quality or feeling brought to an action. She answered every question with complete confidence. He listened with real patience. They worked with extraordinary care and attention to detail.
Those are your key structures from today. With for tools and qualities. By for methods, transportation, and people and passive sentences.
And here is your challenge for this week. Think of 3 things you did today. Anything. Getting to work, making breakfast, learning something, and describe each one using by or with. Say it out loud, write it down, post it in the comments. We genuinely read every single one, and we would love to see yours.
I'll go first. I came to the studio by bus. I wrote my notes with my phone. And I prepared for today's episode by reviewing everything the night before.
3 perfect sentences, 3 natural uses. That's all it takes.
And if today's episode helped you, please subscribe to Say It Real. Give us a like and tap that notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Every single one helps us reach more learners just like you.
Thank you so much for being here. This is Sky and Nate from Say It Real. Fluency starts with real conversations, and yours just got a little clearer. We'll see you in the next one.